Welcome back. In this video, we will talk about Brave browser. Now, many people don't know about Brave browser. They either use Chrome or Firefox. But Brave browser is one of the greatest browsers when it comes to security and privacy. And in this video, we're going to take a look at why is that. Okay, so first of all, if you're interested, you can download Brave browser from brave.com/download. It will have this download button and you will be able to download this browser if that's what you prefer after this video. Once you open it up, it looks something like this. Now, you will notice that this browser is quite similar to Firefox, but it does have some different features and some more advanced features when it comes to security and privacy settings. So once you have it set up, in order to make it even more secure than it already is, you want to navigate once again to the settings, which are right here, and it will open this rather large menu. So first setting that we are interested in when it comes to security is shields. So navigate right to the shields and we will have this window right here. Block trackers and ads which follow you across the web. Now you can either have the simple view or advanced view, and what this is referring to is this icon right here. So every time you visit a website, you can click on this icon and see how many ads and trackers have you blocked. For example, let's set the shield up first to be just the standard option, so tracks ads blocking standard, upgrade to HTTPS, let's leave it like that. We do not want to block scripts, and cookie blocking, let's leave it to only cross-site. Fingerprinting blocking will also be left on standard. Now, these are not the most secure settings, but let's just take a look at what happens once we, for example, visit facebook.com. Okay, so it loaded the page normally, and if we click right here, it will tell us 0 items blocked and connection upgraded. But now let's try to change some settings a little bit. Tracker and ads blocking to the aggressive. We want to block scripts and we will leave only cross-site. Standard, we can set to strict, which says may break websites. Now, these are far more secure settings, but if we load this, it should still work. But this time you will see that this icon says number 5. Currently we have 5 items blocked, and we can take a look at which items that are. In this particular case, it is 5 blocked scripts. So if you leave this turned on, it will block each script that loads from the website, and you will also see the difference in the actual domain link, facebook.com, and we have Facebook_noscript equals 1. Now, it worked and it managed to load this website, but what would happen if we try some other website? For example, let's go to cnn.com. With these current settings, the cnn.com looks like this, which doesn't look anything close to the real website. We don't have images, we don't have news, we don't have anything. This is because it blocked many things. We got tracker blocked, since it is turned to aggressive. We got 10 scripts blocked, and if we want to load the website, we can turn this to standard. We can turn off the scripts blocking, and now look at this. Now it fully loads the website. It does, however, still manage to block 40 different trackers, even on standard settings. How cool is that? So if you do not trust some website, I do advise you to have this on aggressive and to have scripts blocked, since this really prevents many attacks. But on the websites that you do trust, if you don't manage to load them, like we can't load this website, just go right here and turn off the scripts that are being blocked. And also make sure this is on standard. Once you refresh the page, it will work normally. Okay. So that is shield settings. Once again, simple menu right here. Choose whichever settings you want. These would be most secure. Of course, you can always set block all cookies, but this will probably break 90% of websites there are. So you don't really want to overdo the security since you won't really be able to use the browse feature anymore. You can access the shield by this icon and control it from there if you want to. And let's move on to the next settings, which would be social media blocking. So here, this is pretty much up to you. Do you want to allow Google login buttons on third-party websites? Do you want to allow Facebook and Twitter logins and embedded posts in different websites? That's completely up to you. Of course, the more secure version would be to have this turned off, but it won't make much of a difference when it comes to security, but it will make a little bit difference when it comes to privacy. Talking about privacy, let's move on to the security and privacy settings. And you will notice that there are a little bit more settings when it comes to security and privacy compared to Firefox or any other browser. We have autocomplete searches and URLs. This is completely up to you whether you want to have it turned off or on. We have WebRTC IP handling policy, and WebRTC is simply just for phone calls and video calls. For now, you want to leave it on default. And let's go down to these important settings, which are clear browsing data. If we click on that, you can clear all the browsing data. So this is standard settings in every browser. Just by clicking clear data, it will clear everything from history to cookies to stored cache. Below that, we have cookies and other site data. And here you can pretty much set the security and privacy measures for cookies. I advise you to have this at block third-party cookies. Since this one is not recommended, since I already told you, it will break some websites. This is good one to have. Clear cookies and site data when you close all windows. So every time you close Brave browser, it will clear all the cookies and site data. So nothing will be stored on your machine. We also want send a do not track request, and it does have some definition of it right here. We want to confirm this. See all cookies and data, not really interested in that anymore. And you can put a whitelist right here, sites that can always use cookies. So the sites that you trust, you can set them right here. And you can also create a blacklist, which are sites that can never use cookies. And let's go to the security settings. Here we have standard protection and no protection. Of course, I recommend having standard protection turned on. And in the advanced settings, you want to always use secure connections, which means it will upgrade to HTTPS. Make sure this is on. And manage security keys, manage certificates. Nothing really of interest to us for now. Let's go back to see if there is anything else. We do got site and shield settings, but these settings are similar to these ones that we covered in the shield part of the menu. But here you can also set permissions similarly to the Firefox permissions that we talked about. You can choose which websites will have access to your location, camera, microphone, and notifications. And you can also check additional permissions if you want. We got the content. Don't allow sites to use JavaScript. This will block the scripts, which may crash some websites. But once again, you can create the blacklist and whitelist to choose which websites can or cannot run scripts in your browser. Third-party cookies, we already talked about that. You can choose which websites can show you images and which websites can create pop-ups and redirects. If you want to check more, click on additional settings and you will have even more things to choose from. Now, creating a whitelist is a good solution once you only visit certain websites. You don't want some random website that you know nothing about to create pop-ups, to download files for you, or to run any JavaScript code in your browser. Next thing that we have is search engine. And currently I have it set to DuckDuckGo, but you will most likely either have it to Google or Brave. I do recommend changing it, and DuckDuckGo is pretty good option to choose. So this is once again completely up to you, but I would go with DuckDuckGo. You can manage search engines right here, and this would be pretty much all about Brave. You can also check some additional settings if you're interested, but we will not be talking about those right now. One more thing that you want to check out are the extensions. Here are the settings for the extensions. You can manage them. You can hide your IP address with private windows with Tor, and Tor is something that we will cover later in the course. Nonetheless, feel free to check out all the other settings if you wish. We talked about some of the most important settings when it comes to Brave browser security and privacy, but feel free to explore even more. And if you liked this browser, feel free to use it instead of Firefox or Chrome. Nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lecture.